This one that I have in my hand right now is one of the few RTX 5070 Ti's which I was able to buy at close to MSRP. Let's be honest, this is gonna be actually what you guys are gonna buy, because basically the market is divided into three segments. It's MSRP cards, which if you get a founder's card, good for you, but if you don't, good luck finding any, especially any that look a little bit decent. Then you have cards like this, which are maybe 50 to 100 bucks more than MSRP, but actually look decent and with very good build quality, because NVIDIA has strict standards even for the cheaper cards actually. And then you have the third category, which is going to be like the expensive models, like the MSI SoC Vanguard Launch Edition, which I covered on the channel, or the Astral card, which I don't think you should buy, honestly. And all the cards of that segment, the expensive ones. This is going to be a pretty uneventful review. It's going to be actually quite short because we don't have much to cover. And this is the Zotac Gaming Solid OC, and it's pretty much what was the Trinity for the RTX 4000 series. It's a really heavy card which comes in a decent packaging. Inside you get a GPU stand, an RGB cable, which I find terrible, and a 12-volt high-power adapter, all packaged in typical Zotac fashion, not too cheap but not too expensive, with the external box actually looking nice and actually being something which is nice to look at and makes you feel happy of your purchase, as opposed to like the PNY RTX 5080, which we took a look at a few weeks prior. The actual card looks very good. It's black, gold accents. It has 3 DisplayPort, 1 HDMI, and it has a BIOS switch on board, which I find a lot of cards on the 5000 series lineup do have, and I think it's very important because this way not only can you switch between OC and silent mode or whatever they call it. If you're into overclocking and you want to do some BIOS flashing and something goes wrong, you can revert to the other BIOS, and it's just very handy to make your PC boot. However, this is a very bad iteration of the button because, as you can see, you can't know where this is on. This is usually it is a small lever which you bring to the side and you select which BIOS to get. So I'm honestly surprised they could get wrong such a small thing. But again, it's a small thing. Something a bit interesting about the design is it is pass-through on the back. So basically the card sits like this, and from here the airflow can come out. This is very good. The pass-through is also on top, but it's a bit cut out. However, if the airflow goes this way, if you imagine it in a case like this, most cases are gonna get the air in from this side. So this is gonna go against that. This is gonna be better off in an aquarium-like case. So while I think it's a very good design and I tested it, overall it doesn't really matter. Technically, it's not the best for airflow to have this part open. This part open is fine because it exhausts out of your case, and this is also the case. And yeah, however, they could have made it a little bit more open, in my opinion. I like grills in this case. The fans are pretty good. I think the main thing if you're buying this, there are either two options. So you either know that Zotac for the past, I want to say 5 years, has been getting better, or you probably think Zotac is still the old Zotac. And I actually made a dedicated video explaining what I think about Zotac, but the short summary, in case you don't want to watch it all, is it was a very good brand. It had a very bad period with RTX 3000. It is now finally a good brand. So this is a very well done card with good boost clocks. And I'm gonna say this again, as I do in all my RTX 5000 reviews, you should not buy a card based on boost clocks, because you can literally spend 3 minutes in MSI Afterburner, you can get more performance than any overclocked card. Nonetheless, this is an OC card just because they want to sell it to you as an OC. Don't buy cards for boost clocks. Buy them for build quality, aesthetics. Let's not joke around. It's very important, the aesthetics. And buy them because you want them to be quiet and so you can overclock them yourself. Now, this is a very heavy card. Lots of aluminum went into it, and this cools very well. This actually cools better than the PNY RTX 5080 I tried. And it also cools pretty much on par with the Supreme Vanguard SoC Launch Edition RTX 5070 Ti, which I tried, and that one is a lot more expensive. It's in the premium segment. This one is just as good, but that's because this is a lot heavier. The other one was a slimmer card. But if you have space in your case, or if you like to look at a chunky boy, I don't see why you shouldn't get this. Again, temperatures are going to be pretty much the same as what we saw with the Vanguard, which is crazy. Performance in gaming, I'm not gonna cover. I'm not gonna do like a 10-minute benchmarks because it's reference performance, just 1%, 2% faster. And if you guys want some serious performance gain, you should either overclock this card or undervolt this card, which is what I do on the channel. Here at ImWateringPSUs, I have dedicated playlists for CPU undervolting, GPU undervolting, GPU overclocking, and I covered the 5070 Ti very recently, a few weeks ago, and you guys were very happy, so I thank you again for that, by the way. That's how you get your performance. RGB is just this little part over here. I'll try to show you guys some footage of the card running. Honestly, the card looks very nice. I see it very well in a black build. With all the gold accent, I actually see it very well vertical mounted in a white build too. Now, the good thing about the RGB controllable through here is you can synchronize it to AuraSync, MSI Mystic Light, or any kind of RGB control software, so you don't need to use the proprietary Zotac software, which is called Firestorm, and it's really bad. For overclocking too, don't use Zotac stuff, use MSI Afterburner as I show in my tutorials, it's a lot better. So all in all, do I recommend this card? This was a pretty short video. The answer is yes, but remember, you need to buy this pretty much at MSRP, maybe 50 bucks more, 100 bucks more if you're in a terrible area where you have a bit more taxes, that's fine, but don't overpay for it. However, if bought at the right price, this is, I think, the actual card you should buy for 5070 Ti, and this is actually a pretty good value competitor compared to the market and also compared to the used market. This, at MSRP, is a pretty good buy. But as usual, guys, my videos, I want to use them as little threads also to see what happens. So if you have one and if you're having issues, drop a comment down below, people can check. And if you have one and it's amazing, also maybe drop a comment and tell us you like it. Or if you wanted to buy one and got something else, also write a comment. I'm just very curious and want to see for statistical reasons. And with that said, let me know if you guys like me doing GPU reviews, and see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.